Welcome to Hot Flashes and Bold Moves, a podcast for women over 50 who are done apologizing, done shrinking, and absolutely done pretending we don't know where our clitoris is.
That's right. We're Michelle and Dana, two badass, hilarious, hormone-raging women navigating the wild ride of aging with no filter, no shame, and no damn patience for bullshit.
From vaginal mysteries to dating disasters, dry spells to bold-ass reinventions, we are serving up real talk, belly laughs, and probably a little oversharing.
True. So pour a glass, put a fan in your bra, and buckle up. It's about to get
Hot in here. This is Hot Flashes and Bold Moves. Let's get into it. Hot Flashes and Bold Moves would like to take a moment to sincerely apologize to our fabulous guests and our amazing listeners for the technical difficulties we experienced during this editing process. We believe the content is just as important, and although we can't see some of the beautiful faces at times, we know the message will get through. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties and thank you for your continued support. Hello, and welcome to part 3 of our fabulous Breast Cancer Awareness Month episode, Boobs, Bravery, and Belly Laughs. Let's get into it.
That's awesome.
I actually want to put this out for just women in general. I have actually been part of a breast health study for, I think I'm on 10 years now. It's called the Wisdom Study. And
It's called a what?
It's called Wisdom Study.
Okay.
WISDOM study, and they're still recruiting people, Dana. And part of what they do is they do the genetic testing for people in the study. And so I did learn through that I have no genetic indicators for breast cancer.
The BRCA? Is that what you're talking about? The BRCA gene?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I also learned about the HER gene, and I looked at it enough, and forgive me because now I feel like an insensitive ass, but I looked at it enough to be like, okay, I don't have any indicators for it, and yay me. But that said, if you are somebody who wants to participate in the study, because again, it's a longitudinal study. Like I said, I've been involved for 10 years. It started before I got in. It's still going on. And they're adding people. I think they have 30,000 people in it now. And it is actually an amazing way to help. Want to do something because research helps. And you get the genetic testing, and it also is it's a great trigger. Every year, get your mammogram done because every year you also got to fill out their questionnaire. It's a beautiful thing in that it's doing service for us, and for people who have or haven't had it, it's a great reminder to stay in touch with your body and this awareness.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. This one. Actually, I'm going to ask, I'm sort of on the same line, but a different point. What would you tell somebody? What advice would you give someone, let's like me, who's supporting someone who is going through breast cancer? As your friends who want to do something, and we're 50 we're Gen X women, and everything is, no, we're fine, we're good. Actually, Missy, you might even fall into the boomer category, but in those categories, we've been taught our whole lives that women got to be strong and we got to take care of our shit, and asking for help is, it's not an option, or we shouldn't need it, whatever. So let's just pretend that we're all comfortable with being comfortable and we need help. What would you advise someone who just wants to help their friend going through breast cancer?
Yeah.
You know what? The best thing that somebody did for me, they sent someone to clean my house.
Nice.
And, you don't think about that. And I'm, pretty picky about my house, but that's the last thing, Number 2, you're supposed to be avoiding germs and stuff. And I don't know about y'all, but I feel depressed when I look around and it needs mopped or whatever. That was the best gift. I got gift cards for DoorDash and things like that.
Nice.
Flowers were great, but having your house cleaned is
functional.
Yeah.
Functional things are awesome, right? Yeah.
So how do
Anybody
we
else?
I would say mainly just be as normal as possible. Just be normal, because you're living through everything daily, all of the medical stuff, and you're hearing it daily. So to have someone come in a room and sit down with you and just talk to you about normal everyday things. So you get tired of talking about the cancer and how you feel and what you have to do and all of that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I think everybody's different. You know your friends. If you're going to be that close to them, you're going to know them well enough. But for me, it was just, I wanted people to just come in and just act normal. Just pretend nothing is going on. That was me.
I listened to a podcaster who has been very helpful to me, and wanted along that same line. The one thing she said after about 6 months out, she said, "I am me. I am the person who ran a business before, who was a mother, all the things, and I don't want to be identified when I walk through the door. The first thing is cancer or survivor to." Be that person that you've always been. This is one phase of an experience, but that's not who I am or not what I identify as.
Nice.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah,
going,
one of the cool things that a friend did for me, because your first chemo takes a very long time because they have to infuse it very slow to make sure you're not going to be sick. And this friend showed up about 2 hours in, and she had a bag, and I was going to be there for like another 8 hours. And so every hour she pulled out a different thing.
oh, let's
And
see.
so for 1 hour, we focused on this, and then the next hour, she knew I'm a big LSU fan, so she had an LSU flag. And we talked about LSU, and then the next hour we would do something else. And so just by doing that, it, like, made it go faster, and that was like, I would have never thought of that, but that was, like, something so thoughtful. Like, she didn't even ask permission, she just showed up, you know?
Yeah.
Who brought
Then
you
I had
normal
friends.
things, normal everyday things that didn't
Yes.
have anything to
Took
do
her
with
out,
what you were
sweetie.
going through and what was happening.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
along the lines of what I was saying.
Yes.
Yeah, and to
You know,
Tracy's
it's hard. I'm going to tell you, it's a hard thing to balance as someone who watching somebody go through these things, or have
Mhm.
somebody go through these things, because I really want them to know that I care, and I really want to know how they're doing and how they're feeling. And then hearing you be like, we don't fucking want to talk about it anymore. It's then I don't want to seem callous and like I don't care. You know what I mean? So I don't know where to walk that line, but
right. Says I went to lunch
And I
with a friend of
think that
mine.
the biggest thing too. I'm so
I want to get the
sorry,
story out eventually.
Dana. I'm so sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. It's about you, baby. I
No,
was just gonna.
talking about, just being strong, because I was the kind of person that I never would ask for help ever. But the one time that I did, the person that had said to me the most, "Oh, call me if you need anything." I called them for one small thing, and they were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm busy." You know,
No.
And we all have lives, I get it, and I let it hurt my feelings for a very long time, and then I never reached out to anyone else until I kinda cratered one day, and then I had to reach out, And so, because sometimes you don't, as much as your spouse loves you, you want someone other than your spouse. You just want, like, a sister, And you want a girl, you want a woman, yeah, so I think advice I would give, and something I learned from this whole thing, is don't tell people you'll be there anytime they need you, because you're not going to be able to. And then when you can't do that, it's like, well, wait a minute. You've been telling me for weeks and months that if I need anything, and like, I just needed you for 5 minutes and you couldn't do it. And it wasn't their fault, but it was still hurtful at
of
the
course it
moment.
was. Of
Yeah.
course it was. Yeah, absolutely.
Now back to Tracy being normal. I went with a friend to lunch, and she had a different type of cancer, and we sat through the whole lunch. And of course, I was dying to ask, but I thought, you know what, I'm not going to bring it up. Went through the whole lunch, and finally, when we were finished, she goes, "Can I thank you for something?" And I said, "Sure." She's, "Thanks for not fucking talking about the cancer. Thank you. I'm so sick of talking about the cancer." And I was like, "Damn, I'm so glad I didn't say hey." So, Missy, I'll be more opposite of that when we go have brunch or whatever. I'll be like, "Do you want to talk about it?" But I'll leave that up to you.
I mean, literally all you have to say is, "Look, I'm just going to act normal. If you want to talk about it, you let me know and we will, but until then, we're just going to pretend like nothing's happening and just let it go with that, and
Yeah.
that'll work."
Yep. Okay, good. I love that. And I can certainly do it. I will do
Yeah, we can. There was something I wanted to ask y'all. Michelle, there was one of a funny question we wanted to ask. What was
funny
it?
question.
What the boobs? If your boobs could talk now.
Hey, if your boobs could talk now, what would they say?
We're not boobs anymore.
Yeah.
That's what mom
What is
would
that
say.
funny saying? Something about my yes, these are fake. My other ones tried to kill me.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I have, now that you mentioned that, I have seen that.
You
No,
know,
my
not
husband
a
said to me,
partner, but someone that I used to date when he found out. And the first, and used to date is the key, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because one of the first things he said is, "Oh, so you're going to get reconstruction or new boobs then. Make sure they're big." And I'm like, "Yeah, again, thank
Uh,
you that you're
Oh God.
you are or was, you know
No,
who it is,
I
I
can get
appreciate."
new boobs. You'll still be a dick.
Can you?
How do we have your,
Some of these funny questions that we got to ask are not real funny. They fall on like
well, that was
really
actually one of them. One of them was going to be like, what is the most ridiculous thing you heard from people while you
well,
were doing this?
I was telling Dana this the other day when we had lunch, or maybe we were just talking on the phone. Is I mean, I'm sure it is with any illness, but if you don't have a strong marriage before breast cancer, you're in serious trouble walking through it because, thank God I had a strong marriage because, I wanted boobs because I'm a woman. And my husband was like, I don't really care. Like, you can be flat if you want to. And there are sometimes I wish I had just done that. But
Yeah.
it's not only that, I mean, it changes your sex life, it changes everything. And I had to take a pill for 10 years and it completely
Yeah.
it shuts your hormones down completely, so you have no sex drive.
yeah.
Even when you try, I mean, this is pretty blunt, it's very dry. And so then you have to lube up again, you
Yeah.
know? So yeah, it can be very taxing on just everything,
Everything.
you know? And so, I belong to a breast cancer survivor group and I'm just shocked at the number of women that their spouses left them after their breast cancer diagnosis and after their surgery because you're not the same anymore. Well, duh, but I'm alive,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so and just a little different subject. I remember one time I was at Bucky's and off of I-10, I was headed to Louisiana, and these 2 guys walked up and they started laughing at me about my bald head. Like, it was the weirdest thing, like, I had never experienced you hear people talk about, "Well, I
Over.
experienced racism, or I experienced this," or whatever. Never had that experience until I was a bald woman, and I just remember turning around going, "You can laugh if you want to, but I'm fighting breast cancer, and my husband's a nice guy, but I think you better be glad he's not standing here right now. And you 2 are jerks, and I
Yeah.
hope you never have to walk this road with your
Yeah.
wife because it tells me exactly how you would treat her." And they just like, "Whoa," and turned around and walked off. And I think after that was the first time I felt like I just told somebody off, like, because I'm usually very nice and meek, and I think that's where the extra fight kicked in, like, "Say something else because I'm coming for you."
Fuck around and
You know?
find out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because I am from Route
Dan,
3, Louisiana, and I can show
Dan's
it if you
coming
want me
at you.
to, so, yeah, go ahead and
Good
bring
for
that
you.
out, so
And you know what? That should be the way it is in every aspect of our lives. You shouldn't have to be bald and battling cancer for people to be respectful and
mhm,
or disrespect and to have to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
we can be strong women and still be feminine women and emotional women and still stand up for ourselves. And I'm proud of you for doing that because
Yeah.
if
What asshats? I hope they get the taste
yeah,
of the worms.
exactly. And
I hope they get a
the
stomach
point you made
virus.
about if they were married and had to go through
mhm,
this with their wives makes
yeah,
my heart hurt. Makes my heart
yeah.
hurt for them.
It spoke
And
volumes to me about who they were. Yeah,
you know
it's
what? I think when we were talking about, I'm sorry, Tracy, to interrupt you, but I wanted to touch on the keeping your head bald point. And honestly, I think often I actually believe this. It is not a judgment on what your choice is, whether you wear a wig or go you be bald. But I think the wig is more for other people than it is for ourselves. Because when I
Absolutely.
see a bald woman, I get uncomfortable or
Yeah.
I get
mm,
sad or I get really sympathetic and empathetic and, all the things. And I'm uncomfortable because you don't have any hair on your head. Well, yeah, fuck off. I'm alive. I
mm,
might be bald and flat chested, but I'm here. And I think the wigs and the things that people do are less about themselves than it is about other people and not having a deal with other people and the fit around that. Is that, what are your thoughts on?
I would agree with you. Okay, so I did wear the wig, and I would 1000% agree with you. And one of the main reasons I did it is because I was a secretary. I worked at a junior high, and junior high kids are assholes, but it made it so much easier to not have to answer the questions all day long. It's just easier for me to get up, put the wig on. The kids never even knew that I had cancer until, Dana, we did the benefit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was when they found out, and then they couldn't believe that I was going through it, because they didn't even know that I had lost my hair. But that's why I wore the wig, just for the
Well, yeah, because
kids,
you work at a school
mainly.
and kids are assholes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
and I
absolute
don't
sense.
think that any of them would have really been mean to me, but I didn't want it to distract from school or what they were doing, any of that stuff. Just for me, that whole scenario, it was the best thing to do.
Absolutely. And I get that. Wanted your thoughts on that.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
So do any of y'all have any fears of reoccurrence, or how do you live your life with? Jan, you said that cancer it's just kind of always there. Is it just like something that's in the back of your mind? How?
I don't dwell on it. I have a very strong faith. And even if it did come back, would that be a lack of my faith? No. It's just that that's life, you know? And I don't live in fear. I live every day. People say, "Oh, don't you get nervous when you go to your annual checkup?" No, I really don't. I had one episode about back during COVID. Because of the medication that I had to take, it caused a lot of other issues, and I had to have a full hysterectomy, and some other stuff had to happen. I mean, I was down for about 8 weeks, and I felt like that surgery was probably as tough as my reconstruction. But with that said, at one point she said to me, "We found something on your ovary and we need to do a biopsy." And I walked out of the room and went to the bathroom and I heaved over the toilet because
Oh.
I thought, I cannot do this again.
Oh, shit.
And then like I did the first time, I sucked it up and I came back in there and she said, "We can reschedule." And I said, "No, let's do the biopsies today." And she said, "But I can't numb you." And I said, "Okay." Like I've been through enough. If I can't take a little vaginal biopsy, then I'm in big trouble. And it hurt like the devil, but at least we got it done that day. And I was ready for the fight at that point. But just the thought of having to do chemo again, I literally heaved in the toilet. But I don't fear it. I don't live in fear. As a matter of fact, I have a tattoo where my port was. It says faith over fear.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
I know where I'm going if I die. So, I don't fear it. So
Well, and from a less faith-based perspective, I know that there's oodles and oodles of research out there that shows that we add stress and worry to our lives, we are exacerbating those particular issues.
absolutely. One reason I stopped the corporate life and started my own business. The
Yep.
stress was too much.
Yep. When we
Missy, do you
focus on
have
the
any?
things we can't control, it causes all kinds of stress and ugliness for our physical bodies.
Sure does. Yeah.
Missy, do you have any fears? You're still not at the end of the journey. So
I wouldn't label it fear. It is in your mind, and when you have a little for me, when I have a little twinge or something in my left breast, at times I have thought about it, but really more than anything, I have just done a lot of changes in my life. Someone talked about changing up their diet or something earlier that we're talking about. And I am eating clean, avoid mine was estrogen positive as well. So, staying away from soy, which I never was a fan of, and edamame. I love deli turkey, but all the citrates in it and such, I don't do any of that. Lots of things. I'm living and building on longevity, and I want my health to equal my longevity.
Sure.
So, do I think about it at times? Yes. Am I fearful? No, because of my faith and because, like you said, Michelle, there is so much in our favor now
Yeah.
when it comes to this.
And I would offer, I haven't been where you are, and I will offer this in that we have emotions are legit. We have emotions for a reason, right? They tell us what's happening and feel the fear, ride the wave, whatever comes with it. Just don't live in that space. That's all I
Right.
say. I would never for a second even suggest or imply that someone shouldn't be concerned or sad about it or whatever the emotions that come angry, whatever the emotions that come up with it. Just know that you don't need to live there. You're worth more than that. And you didn't fight this battle to spend the rest of your life living in fear and worry.
Right.
Right.
Know, talking that way, and again, more people than just us are going to hear or watch this. And don't be embarrassed because I've never been opposed to, anxiety medications or therapy, never been opposed to it,
Absolutely.
but it's not something that I ever, and I've been through some things in my life, but it's not something, a route I ever took. Sister, I did it this time. I got a therapist. I walked through it with her. And I did get put on some anxiety medication. And along with my faith, those are the things so don't be embarrassed. You said it
No.
perfectly. Your feelings are real, but you don't have to express them or feel them the way you do. There are skills that you can learn to help you deal with it better.
And that goes back to that point of A, being your own advocate, and B, asking for help when you need it. Dude, this is too much. My emotions are out of whack. I can't deal with that too. Help me. Yeah, for sure.
Tracy, you want to
Well,
add?
so I'm sorry, Jan, were you saying something? Or
No, do you
Tracy?
want to add anything, Tracy?
Anybody? Jan? No?
Just on which regard? I'm sorry, we covered a lot of stuff.
Do you have fear, like any fear?
I don't. I don't. I mean, I think I've pretty much said that I'm one of those people that can pretend like things don't happen. No, I don't. I don't think about it. I
Good.
mean, I go through most of my life and forget that it even happened until October rolls around, and
Well,
then
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now I
Grab it.
have had some people call me, some people that friends that I went to school with and their sister has cancer, or this person has cancer, and they ask me what do I do? I will help as many people as I can help. I'll do anything I can to help you. But other than that, I don't think about it at all.
I love that. You and I have a lot in common in that regard, Tracy.
Yeah, I really
I'm
don't.
not I'm not much of a fretter or worrier. Yeah. I love that. So I do have a question. Unless Dana, do you have something else? I have a question to close out with.
Go ahead. We've
Yeah,
taken up an hour and a half of y'all's time.
no,
So
we have, and thank you so much. As Dana has said, so grateful that you were here and willing to be open about this and share it.
I'm
'Cause I
glad I
feel
can
like I
help.
feel like it's gonna touch and help a lot of people. If for nothing else, not feeling alone. To Jan's or to Missy's point, to Jen's point, you're not alone. You're not alone. So my last question is, and you've actually kind of touched on this, and maybe there's something else you want to just throw in and be like, it's a great way to close it out. Has breast cancer changed the way you approach life?
Mm.
And if so, what bold moves? I get it, huh? Bold
I'm going to
moves
hear from all three of you.
are you making now?
Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I think that for me, the reality that life can be very short, And so, yeah, it changed me in the fact that I walked away from a six-figure job because I didn't want the stress to bring back cancer.
Nice.
I wanted to be free to live life. And so I started exercising. I lost weight. I go hiking all the time. I
Yeah, you
mean,
do.
can go visit my grandbabies when I want to. And I think it changed me in that aspect of, wow, life is short. It can change very quickly. And so it just changed me in the aspect of living each day to the fullest.
Being in the moment, being in this
Hmm.
moment. Yeah,
Hmm.
I love that. Thank you.
Missy?
Missy?
I would say the same. Living life to the fullest. I look forward to tomorrow. I look forward to once this year is over, being in Florida, being close to my family,
Hmm.
prioritizing me. That's not something that I've done in the past, is prioritize me. And I don't feel selfish about it now. But at the same time, I'm a pretty outgoing person to start with, but I think I've become an advocate for others and I have shared my story and I have gotten into my health more and share that story with others. So it's precious and you hear it all the time, but until you actually face it. But life is precious, and I feel every breath literally is a gift, and I'm so thankful for it.
I love that.
One more thing about that, and it really tags onto it, is you look at it not only that you've looked it in the face and you've been blessed to not have to deal with it, but it's also to those that didn't get tomorrow, didn't get today. It's, in my opinion, a sin to not live our life today the way that they wish they were here to do. We have this life for a reason, and you can't just sit and exist. You have to live.
I love that. And I think that is a beautiful way to close this out. What about you,
Yes.
my friend?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Yes.
Ladies,
Thank you
I've been
so much.
fighting back like
I know.
tears the whole time. This has been so.
I'm such a big old crybaby.
I know. I was looking at Michelle going, dang, I got
Yeah.
to keep it together because Michelle's about to lose it over there. Somebody's got to keep it together.
And I'm so grateful. I am grateful that you,
Yeah.
again, I know I said it before, right? Because some people were not comfortable discussing this. And well, I get it. If you're a personal private person and you don't want a whole bunch of attention, or that's okay. I didn't let them. That's my
Yeah.
that's my
Let
philosophy.
them.
Let them. Yep.
Yeah. Survivors. Yeah.
Yes. And we'll be talking, Missy. I know you had a lot of. I want to make sure that Michelle and I put that camp into our.
Yeah, I'll send you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
free for anybody across the country, and it was so much fun. You ladies need to go.
Yeah.
The other
Maybe you
two,
it off.
yeah. So Jan and Tracy, you just talked
Yes,
about living life more.
it's so
Go to
much
this
fun.
camp and have some silliness and fun
Yes,
and love in your life. Take
yes.
care
I'll
again.
send
Take care of
that to
you.
y'all.
Get it?
Thank
All
you.
right. Get it?
Yeah, and anything that has helped y'all through your journey, you can private message Michelle and I, and then we'll post that on our Facebook page for people to tap into, because I think this is something that's really been nice, ladies. Thank you.
It has been. It goes out. Somebody go anywhere yet?
Don't let it go anywhere.
All right. So thank you all for being here today. As I've stated, we are grateful, and everything that you've said is critical to those people who are experiencing the journey, even for those of us who have not and hopefully will not, because it's important that we are women supporting women, whatever form it takes. So next time, shit, we did it again.
We don't know what
What's
we're
our
going to do
topic
next time. Usually we have a whole agenda
We
of
know a
things.
whole thing. We don't know, because we get so excited and worked up about having guests, or we're like, oh, we have guests and we got to do this and we got to do this. And then like, oh, we should have a next episode.
We should
Well,
probably plan our next episode.
we don't have a next episode.
Yeah.
So
Y'all will be just as surprised as we are.
yeah, exactly.
We don't know. Stay loud
And stay unapologetically
apologetically you.
And remember to like us, share us, subscribe to us, download us, and whatever it takes, get it out there, share it with the world. We are on Facebook, Hot Flashes and Bold Moves, Facebook page, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple for podcasts. We're two bold, badass women with mics and opinions, but we are not doctors, therapists, or any kind of official experts. On Hot Flashes and Bold Moves, we share real talk, life lessons, and hilarious stories. But this is not medical advice. You make changes to your hormones, health routines, skincare, sex life, or anything else based on what we say, make sure to check in with a professional who knows your body better than we do. We're here to entertain and empower. So if your libido spikes, your face peels off, or your vibrator catches fire, God forbid, we love you, but it's not on us. Own your choices, use your judgment, and don't sue us.